In this video, you'll hear a health department interviewer conducting an interview with Emma Miller, a resident of Broome County who has been diagnosed with a salmonella infection. This video models how to navigate an interview when a case easily gets off track or provides excess information.
Hello, may I speak with Emma Miller?
Yeah, this is Emma.
Hi, Emma. My name is Ben. I'm an epidemiologist calling from the Broome County Health Department. I'm giving you a call today to chat about a recent illness or laboratory test you took last week. Does that sound right? Does that ring a bell?
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you've called. I was expecting a call. Last week was one of the most frustrating weeks I've had. I was so sick. Took me out of work. I had to see my doctor for the first time in so long. It's been a long time since I've had to go to the doctor for anything. If a case gets off track during an interview, gently interrupt them using direct statements that emphasize your respect for their time.
I'm so sorry to hear you weren't feeling well. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so let me jump right in. Through the health department, we follow up with cases diagnosed with reportable conditions, which are infections that doctors' offices or labs are required to notify the health department about whenever they are diagnosed. Once they notify us, we conduct the interviews to see if we can determine what may have caused them to get sick.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. I'm really glad to hear you're trying to figure out what got me sick. Could other people have gotten sick too? Is this really bad?
It is possible that other people may have become sick due to the same thing that made you sick, but that's what I'm hoping to understand a little more by asking you some questions. I'll be asking you questions about your illness and things you may have come in contact with before becoming sick, but any responses you provide will be kept completely confidential. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds okay, but I'm a little concerned. Should I be checking with my family or friends to see if anyone else has been sick? I mean, I know no one else in my house has been, but I don't know about my sister and her family, and she's got small kids at home. So what if they picked this up somewhere? If a case gets off track but has brought up a relevant concern, provide basic advice and guidance before redirecting them to the interview questions.
It is great that you're thinking about keeping your extended family healthy. I can totally understand your concerns here. If your friends and family are feeling any similar symptoms, let them know to reach out to their doctors if they have the concerns and that they can have a stool sample tested for salmonella. Right now, though, the best thing you can do is prevent any further spread of illness. Be sure to focus on things like hand hygiene, so washing your hands really well, especially after using the bathroom, and staying home from work while you are sick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, let's move on into the interview questions here. First, I'll ask questions about when you first became sick. Do you remember what day you started to feel ill?
Gosh, okay. Let's see. What is today's date? Looks like so today's April 5th. I think I started to feel sick, gosh, sometime last week. It's hard to know exactly which day, but I did get together with a friend on April 1st. We went to the store together to pick up some groceries. I think it was on maybe April 1st, so that was like on Wednesday, and I felt sick maybe later on that day. Wait, could it have been something from that grocery store that made me sick? I know we grabbed some meat to make hamburgers, and I've definitely heard salmonella can come from meat. Could that be it?
Let's first make sure we're on the same page about which day you got sick. It sounds like you were felt ill a couple days after going to the store. Would that have been Friday, April 1st?
Oh, you're right. April 1st was that Friday. I went to the store on Wednesday. So yeah, it was a couple of days after the store. That would have been Friday, April 1st.
Perfect. Beginning April 1st, what symptoms were you experiencing?
Well, I had a pretty bad stomach. Like I had diarrhea and cramps the whole time. I did also have a runny nose, but I'm not really sure if that was the same thing. I've got allergies, and to be honest, it felt more like that than anything related to this. Also, it is that season where trees in our yard have been blooming like crazy. We've got apple trees, and I know last time this year I had really bad allergy from those apple tree blooms.
If a case gets off track and begins speaking about a topic that is not relevant, briefly acknowledge what they are saying before redirecting them to the interview questions.
Got it. I know a lot of folks are dealing with some allergies right now, so that would make total sense. Just for the sake of time, let's focus on specific symptoms we see with salmonella. Did you notice any blood in your diarrhea? Great. Now I have questions about the week before you became sick, which would be from March 25th to April 1st. Did you attend any group gatherings like picnics, sporting events, parties, anything like that during the week?
That week, I think I stayed home most of the time. I did go grocery shopping with my friends and went on some walks, but I was just over to the park in my neighborhood, so nothing really out of the ordinary.
Got it. During that week before you were feeling sick, would you have eaten food from any restaurants?
Well, I do go out to eat pretty regularly. Oh, I remember this restaurant I went to. It was over in the next town, though. I noticed when I was there that that turkey sandwich I ordered did not taste right. I wonder if that could have been it. So I ordered the sandwich. It took so long to get it to our table, and none of the toppings really were cold enough like they were supposed to be. I really wasn't even sure they had been kept in the fridge, so something about that was off.
Which day did you go to this restaurant?
That was March 15th. I have it written down right here.
If a case gets off track and begins talking about exposures that are outside of the time frame you are interested in, briefly restate the time period you are asking for information about.
Got it. That was a bit too long ago to have been likely to cause your current illness. Can you think of restaurants you would have eaten from between March 25th and April 1st?
Oh, yeah. I can't think of any restaurants I would have gone to in person that week.
Okay. How about any restaurants you might have gotten takeout or delivery from?
Wait, actually, yeah, I did get takeout from Chipotle that week. That was on March 27th. I can see that in my on the app on my phone right here. Do you think it could have been Chipotle that might have made me sick? I know I saw on TV a while back that they had an issue with some other illness. Could that have been related? Gosh, they serve so many people there. That would be awful.
If a case continues to provide excess details or information, set a time limit for your availability by stating that you have a commitment coming up and would like to get through as much of the interview as possible during this time.
We can't be sure quite yet whether that would be the source, but I do have a couple more questions about that. I also have a commitment in about 15 minutes, so I'll just jump right in here. What location of Chipotle did you eat on the 27th?
So it's the Chipotle on First Street, the one across from the school.
Got it. And what did you eat?
I got a bowl with rice, beans, chicken, cheese, lettuce, and then sour cream and salsa.
Great, thank you. Any other restaurants you may have gotten takeout or delivery from during that time?
I think that was it.
Great. During the week before your illness, what grocery stores would you have gotten food from?
Let's see. It depends where I'm at, where I go shopping, but sometimes I'll go to Walmart on my way home from work, and then other times I shop at King Soopers. Oh, but there's also this little market. It's outside of my apartment. So sometimes I'll go to that. It has some food and it's kind of like a gas station type thing. So that could have been one other one during that time.
For cases that get off track easily, ask the case for all of the information you need about one topic, such as a restaurant or grocery store, before moving on to the next.
Before you get too far, which location of Walmart would you have stopped at?
Oh, yeah, okay, that's the one. The Walmart is on First Street. It's also over by the school.
Great. How about the King Supers?
That's the one nearest to my house.
If a case gets off track during an interview, gently interrupt them using direct statements that emphasize your respect for their time. If a case gets off track but has brought up a relevant concern, provide basic advice and guidance before redirecting them to the interview questions. If a case gets off track and begins speaking about a topic that is not relevant, briefly acknowledge what they are saying before redirecting them to the interview questions. If a case gets off track and begins talking about exposures that are outside of the time frame you are interested in, briefly restate the time period you are asking for information about. If a case continues to provide excess details or information, set a time limit for your availability by stating that you have a commitment coming up and would like to get through as much of the interview as possible during this time. For cases that get off track easily, ask the case for all of the information you need about one topic, such as a restaurant or grocery store, before moving on to the next.